And reopen the meeting of the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Board of Directors, a regular agenda. Rosie, can you go ahead and give us a roll call for that?
Yes, Director Collison.
Here.
Director Pinto.
Here.
Director Cox.
Here.
Chair Nugent.
Here. Just as a reminder, these meetings are publicly broadcast via Zoom. Even in the case that the public is not physically present, please consider that participants may be virtual and the meeting is recorded and posted for public viewing. We had no closed session for the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District. Any agenda modification consideration from staff for Healthcare District? No. Seeing none, I'll move on to public comment on items that are not on the agenda. Any hands raised, Rosie, online?
No hands raised online.
Anyone in person that would like to make any public comments on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll move on to. Oh, sure, go ahead. If you could come up to the podium and you'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Yes, I was just wondering, do you ever have to deal with a discriminatory problem through employee discrimination?
Can you hear? Yeah, okay. Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Yes, do you have any problem with the discrimination between the different employees down here at the hospital?
I am going to ask you to stay after the meeting, and I'm sure someone in our staff can help you with that question.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else looking to speak on public items? Okay, I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda. Rosie, can you read them out before?
Yes. The first item is the minute approval for March 27th, 2024. The second item is the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Conflict of Interest Code. The third item is the Financial Officer Monthly Financial Performance Update. The fourth item is the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Debt Policy, and that is all 4 items. Okay. Any questions for staff on any of these 4 items before we open it up for public comment? Not for me. Dr. Pim's on that. Seeing none, Rosie, any raised hands online? Anyone? No raised hands online.
And anyone in the public looking to make a comment on items on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back for a motion from the board.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
You, Director Cox or Gallagher, I will take roll. Director Gallagher.
Yes.
Director Pinto.
Yeah.
Director Cox.
Yes.
Chair Nugent.
Yes, thank you. It passes unanimously. So we'll move on to our discussion items, and we'll start with item number 5. The 2024 Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Bond Measure Election Results Acceptance. So Stephen, if you want to go ahead and give us a presentation.
Yeah, this is brief from me and maybe hand it off to Chair Nunez. We did so much work on this to talk a little bit more, but yeah, my recommendation is that the board celebrate a bit and pass a resolution confirming the canvass of votes cast in the general election on March 5th, 2024, and declaring the election results for the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Bond Measure N passing with 68.26% of the votes.
I'll also open it up to my fellow director, Pimentel, if he wants to add anything to this presentation to the rest of the board and the public, but just thank you to the community, and thank you to all the voters throughout the district who saw the value in preserving healthcare in the Pajaro Valley and throughout Santa Cruz County. And thank you to all of the volunteers that stepped up to help the Measure N committee throughout the process. And thank you to the Watsonville Community Hospital and Pajaro Valley Healthcare District staff that did all of the work to bring this forward and even put this item on the March 2024 ballot. So many people to thank. And, anything else that you'd like to mention, Director Pimentel, before we?
But, you know, I've been dropping the nuggets the last couple of board meetings, I echo that, to speak gratitude and appreciation for all the volunteers, for all the donors, it was not. It is a financially strong commitment to run a campaign, but I was also proud of how we ran a campaign and how much material and information got out to not just voters, but community members. We must have touched over 11,000 different homes, properties, in a short 2-month period. Just to get that message out there and let people understand that we are here, we're still here, we're turning it around and giving them the belief that, or sharing our trust and the belief that we have, with members of the community. It's just a really rewarding experience. And I'm grateful to the voters, and they saw and trust us. Nearly 70% of voters said yes, which is quite impressive for this community. So I'm just grateful, deeply grateful to everybody who spent time and put a sign up in the yard and spent time walking, spent time calling and donating to our campaign. It was just one of the most amazing campaigns I've ever been a part of.
Any questions for Stephen, Marcus, or myself, before we open this up to public comment? No? Okay, Rosie, any raised hands?
So right, hands on line.
Anyone in the public wanting to comment on this item?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. First one.
I can do it right from here.
Sure, that's fine.
It says here that you're gonna include a formation of citizens oversight committee. When is that supposed to happen?
So we have opened up the, just like general interest process. And, if you go onto the website, you could send an interest, email, an email just saying that you're interested in serving on the oversight committee. And then, we're still setting up the process of how to and when is the right time to, actually move forward with issuing bonds and how that whole process will work. What we don't want to do at this time is set up this oversight committee, be ecstatic and happy and have all of this kind of momentum moving forward, and then not have anything for the committee to review immediately. And so trying to work along that timeline where we'll have the oversight committee be active within the first few months after it's established. But people can definitely reach out and say, I'm interested in this, and our staff will take that interest. And then when we start to fill out that committee and establish it, then that's what we'll do.
If I understand correctly, when I read the notes online, it was saying that the hospital had, or the board had already considered different priorities if and when the measure did pass. So if I understand you correctly, you're gonna review that again before you have the oversight committee?
That's part of the process, yeah. Mhm. Excuse me, any other public comments on this item before we bring it back for? Okay, just a final comment. I went in and I'm a election nerd. I think that's why I liked my previous job. But I went back and I looked at, from district to district, the percentage of votes, yes or no, and all that sort of stuff. And, as I expected, the number of people who voted within the city of Watsonville was a lot, was less than the people within our northern reaches of our district. And so that was a big challenge for us is a lot of people within the city of Watsonville understand the importance of Watsonville Community Hospital, but possibly don't have either the ability to vote for various reasons, or just don't have the time to peel away to vote, you know, even with some of the laws in place that you know, tell you that your employer should give you the time to vote and that sort of stuff. And so I think that was, it gave me a lot of confidence, and also puts a lot of pressure on us that folks within our district that don't typically use Watsonville Community Hospital services in our northern region of our district, not only that they see the importance of having a healthcare and a good one for that matter, provider in this section of not only Santa Cruz County, but in the entire Central Coast. And then also it gives me hope that they're willing to tax themselves and willing to do this and to invest into this hospital with my hope is that they will eventually become users of Watsonville Community Hospital Services. And so just thank you so much to all of the volunteers. I think at the end of it, we had something like 80 to 90 volunteers in that final email thread that gave their time to that committee and that campaign. And whether it was knocking on doors or whether it was, making phone calls or doing anything else to help this measure pass is just almost appreciation for everyone and all of our donors and all the people that were doing all the work behind the scenes as well too. So with that being said, I will open it up for a motion on this resolution to approve this.
I'll move approval, and I forget if we could do 4 motions or limited to 2. That's a joke, sorry. I'll move approval.
Second?
Thank you. I have Director Pimentel and Gallagher. I will take the roll. Director Gallagher,
Yes.
Director Pimentel,
Yeah.
Director Cox,
Yes.
Chair Newsom.
Yes. It passes unanimously. So we'll move on to the last item of the night, and that's item number 6. It's the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District Board Member Appointment Recommendation. Stephen, if you want to tee this item up.
I will tee it up. Yeah, thank you. So it's my honor to be able to recommend that we pass a resolution that the board has the opportunity to appoint a new board member for the district by a majority vote. We have had 4 members of the public who live inside our district boundaries apply for this vacancy, and so the board has in the packet had the opportunity to review those. We have it's big shoes to fill. We had a wonderful board member and board chair, John Friel, who gave his time and energy to helping stand this district up and be as one of the founding members of the Healthcare District Board. And so today we have 4 community members in front of our 4 board members to discuss and to vote on who will be the 5th that will fill out the rest of John Friel's term through the November 2024 election, at which point that seat will be up for election again. And the individual who is hopefully voted for and nominated on and voted for today will have the opportunity to choose whether or not to run for that elected spot again in November.
I'll just give a little bit more background as well too, Steve, on the process of bringing this forward consideration. So after former Chair Friel resigned on March 19th, the Pajaro Valley Board of Directors, from the Board of Directors, I'm sorry, we had 4 options of how to fill that board vacancy. And the first option being that the board appoint a 5th member within 60 days of his notification. The second option was that the board call for an election within 60 days of his resignation or the effective date if at least 130 days before the next election. The third option would be for the Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors to appoint within 90 days. And the fourth option was for the County Board of Supervisors to call an election within 90 days. Or the effective date if at least 130 days before election, but no later than June 28th, 2024 or 28th. After careful consideration, option 1, which is for the board to appoint within 60 days of John's resignation, proved to be the most cost-effective and efficient method for filling this vacancy or for filling this vacancy, excuse me. And so we're here now. We opened up the application process. We had 4 great applications come in and applicants put their name forward. And so I am happy to answer any questions from my fellow board members, and I'm sure Steve will be as well too, about the process or about really anything about this topic. Any questions before we go to the public or? No? No, okay. Any hands raised online, Rosie?
No hands raised online.
Okay, so we'll go out to the public for any public comment on this item.
This is regarding the way that you selected, the way that you're going to.
Exactly, yeah. Go ahead.
Good evening, board chair. I apologize for missing the instructions on the closed session. I'm so used to the board leaving. I
Right.
know there's a conference room back there. My apologies. Nobody can be as good as John in this job, but I am one of the applicants that you're looking at. And I'm here to answer any questions or, whatever on the answers that I give you. I started working here at the city of Watsonville when we were looking at the layout plans for Seagate, which was this building. So this building was built by Seagate, and I checked the layout. So you have great applicants and wish you the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to comment on this or bring it back for any? Oh, sure.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. What a wonderful group of applicants we have. It's heartwarming to know that there's truly a committed group, not only with our voters, but individuals who are committed to step up and volunteer their time to serve as public servants. I'm here not as a foundation ED, but as a community member and someone who deeply loves this community. And I'm here to speak in support of Marcella Mastamatsis, who is an exceptional leader. She's been a leader for our community for many years. Excellent way of collaborating and working with numerous institutions, parties, within our community. And she has a love for this community that I can't express enough. I think we've seen it through her work. We've seen it in her ways of contributing and volunteering her time. We've seen it in the way she's still currently active within our community. I also want to acknowledge her husband, Jesse, who has been extremely supportive of her work. And he also has been such a great contributor to the city of Watsonville and now to hopefully with our Pajaro Valley Healthcare District. And with that, I strongly urge you to, again, congratulate everyone who applied, but next strongly recommend Marcella to participate as a board member.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak on this item before you bring it back?
Essentially, you're gonna have a review of all applied applicants during a regular public meeting. Is that now?
That's now.
That's now. Are you gonna, third, it says you're gonna vote for the candidate at a regular public meeting. Is that now?
Any other comments, Fred? You still probably have about a minute and a half or so. I understand that, Fred. Yeah, sorry. Anything else, Fred?
No.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Michael Bell. I'm a physician here in Santa Cruz County. I've worked here for the last, October will be 32 years. I was a member of staff of Watsonville Hospital for 21 of those years. I'm currently employed as a hospitalist at the Dominican Hospital, employed by the Santa Cruz Medical Group. For sake of transparency, my actual employer is Dominican Medical Foundation. for Dignity Medical Foundation. I've been involved, in my tenure in Watsonville, I've been involved, I was on the MEC for 18 years, I think, not much, remember, I was chief of staff, I was chair of the Department of Medicine. I've served on work committees that we carry board with. I just want to say that, Judge Real actually brought me to town. So, when I saw the vacancy, I thought it was my, give back to what he did. I'm happy to serve. I'm happy to bring whatever I can do.
Thank you. I think I saw a hand go up, Rosie, earlier. Is that right?
I don't see one.
No? Okay. Anybody else in here in person that would like to speak on this item before I bring it back? No? Okay, I'll open it up for discussion or for any clarifying questions or comments about any of the.
Go ahead and just express deep gratitude. I think when we started this and we had the unfortunate news of John's resignation and ultimate passing, it was hard to imagine how quickly we could find one, let alone more than one person who would willingly jump onto this very active, very heavy lifting board. We end up being a net pay loser, contributing more and getting nothing. So I'm just grateful that we've got 4 qualified and impressive candidates who opted to put themselves in, recognizing that it's still like 7 more meetings and then we'll run for an election. And that's a hard thing to step up to while we're sprinting in a turnaround plan. So I'm just deeply grateful for the candidates and looking over the applications. I'm impressed with all of them. In the end, with the factors of the work we have to do, the short turnaround of moving into use of bond proceeds, our governance work we're stepping into next month. It's imperative to me that we have somebody who can sprint and run with us right out the gate and who is familiar with board governance, familiar with the Brown Act, familiar with the community, and familiar with all of our partners across the community. And with all that, one candidate stands out to me, and it's my recommendation, my motion that we appoint Marcella as our board member in this interim period.
I'll second.
So I'll bring it back for discussion and I close the public comment. So. I understand that, sorry. Apologies, I closed the public comment. I can't reopen the public comment. Any discussion about the motion that's on the table? I'll just say as well too, before we go out to a vote, I do want to acknowledge all 4 people who submitted their application. Like Marcus said, for someone to willingly say, I'm going to serve for a guaranteed amount of time of 6 months, and to try to learn the job in that amount of time, with no guarantee that they will be on this board past November, December, I think it's a huge lift. And so I'm really delighted that we got 4 great candidates coming forward. I also think I'm in agreement with Marcus that we need someone who is well-versed in government proceedings, especially Robert's rules and how public meetings are conducted, and then also especially with the upcoming work that needs to be done around the bond issuance and ensuring that we have folks who have been a part of that process and understand that process and that can speak to it and understand it as well too. And so I do agree with Marcus in that I think looking at all of these 4 candidates, I think that Marcella Tamantes is the best best qualified candidate for the position at this time. So that's who I'm going to be voting for tonight. But I did want to say thank you to all 4 candidates for putting their application forward. And would love to continue to partner with all the other 3 candidates if this vote is successful on how we can work together on other ways as well too. So any other comments or any questions before we go to a roll call vote? No. Okay, Rosie?
Director Gallagher,
Nay?
Director Pimentel,
Yeah.
Director Cox,
Yes.
and Attorney Newsom.
Yes. Okay, so that passes 3-1, and that was our final item on today's agenda. So I will call this close this meeting. What is the actual term? I'll adjourn this meeting. Sorry, I'm still learning the job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Noel.
Thank you, Noel.